Welcome back, everyone, for a new weekly recap. And actually, I need to be honest, I don't have a lot of things to say. So, this is going to be a pretty chill chit chat. We are going to go over what happened this week, how I felt, and what I'm thinking about going next this week. So, let's get into it right now. So, first thing first that I'm pretty happy about is the fact that I've validated the 160 on the squat, the 120 on the bench, and not yet the 200 that I've already passed in the past, but I'm still really happy about it because there is something actually come. Yeah, much better. Because here it's really with good technique. I've managed to do the 190 with proper technique, and I felt that okay, my back was really engaged and that the upper body didn't really move. And so it was more an issue of strength rather than technique. Where on the 200 that I did, my upper back rounded a lot, so that make it easier to actually lift more, but that's way more dangerous for your spine. So here, this is a 190 with actual proper technique. So we are on our way to the 200. So, because here's the deal, at the end of this mesocycle, that's kind of the target that I have. So I'm going to be doing that. Also, I've been thinking a lot about the fact that I'm feeling tired. Okay, in the past, over the last few weeks and so on, work have been taking a lot of energy out of me. I didn't have enough time, and so as a consequence, I had to train less to be able to do more work. And so that's fine. I still, as you can see, I still, so far we have managed to be on track with every single speed goal that we have. So, and still managed to increase the gain. So, on paper, everything is fine. But what I start feeling is the fitness that I've built earlier in the year during when I was actually trying to lose fat and so on. I had built a very high fitness level and very high work capability. And I'm feeling that the fact that I had to reduce unwillingly, that wasn't really something I was planned for, is just I had to reduce because I didn't have enough time to both train and work on my business and so on. Uh, what happened is I then reduced the volume. First thing that happened, I started doing not the 1,000 reps workout anymore, even 5 rounds. Just I don't do it. I don't warm up before I'm actually doing the training. On in terms of number of ball hits, I have reduced drastically as well, and so that, as I said, on paper didn't it doesn't show much, but in terms of sensation, what I feel is that I'm losing fitness level, and now every session become harder and harder because my work capability start dropping drastically, and so I think if I don't want this to become an issue, and I think it's starting becoming an issue, it's just that it doesn't reach a point where it show in terms of the number. I need to rebuild that working capability. So because here the fact that I'm feeling tired, the subconscious, the intuitive aspect is okay. Maybe train, go a little easier, train a little less, and that will be okay. But no, because that's going to be even worse. Because what lead me to that is actually me reducing the volume of work I'm doing. So this is not by reducing even more the volume of work that I'm going to get better. And this and let me tell you just one thing is it's not inherently wrong because that's something we will want to do at the end of the year. The main reason is when you're reducing the working capability, you're able to increase the intensity. And I think maybe that's what happened here is since I'm pushing harder in terms of speed, harder in terms of strength, maybe subconsciously my brain, my subconscious is thinking that to be able to keep up, I need to reduce volume and to be able to increase the intensity. But that's too soon. That's way too soon. We are only in May, and the program end at the end of November. So that's way too soon in the program to start reducing volume and start building up intensity. See, when we reach the end of those, so here we are during this mesocycle here. Here we want to start building, continue building strength and increasing speed steadily. But here, this is really this part where we will build up the intensity drastically, focusing on power, speed, to be able to then peak with maximum intensity on this one. But so here, the volume is going to slowly start dropping. So we are fresh at every session. And so at every session, we can actually give our best effort to reach the absolute goal of 130. But if I start doing this here, my working capability and my endurance will drop so low that I will not even be able to give my best during those sessions. That's what peaking is about, is you're reducing the load so your fatigue gets removed and you're able to put the max effort. But if you're doing it too soon, what happens is you're peaking too soon, and then after that point, you're kind of demanding too much for your body, and your body is no more able to actually handle the load. So this is where I start really thinking that there is something that I need to be very careful here. And so even if that's going to be hard, that even if I'm tired and honestly I really don't want to do it, I think I'm gonna have to start redoing the 1,000 reps workout. I'm gonna have to really push myself to do at least 100 balls per session, maybe. There is also a few issues in the golf because as I told you, I start hitting the ball a little bit too far, and so I'm getting out of the range. So I need to find a spot where I can hit the ball without getting out of the range. But the other issue is, since I'm getting to the range relatively late, then there is a light issue, because even though during summer the light is going to go to the sun is going to go down a lot later, at this point at 10 p.m. it starts getting dark to the point where it's difficult. If I'm not somewhere where there is light, that starts becoming difficult. So even just for the camera to film and so on. So there's kind of a few points here. I might not be able to hit those 100 balls every day this week, because I need to figure some stuff out at the golf. But there is no reason why on the gym workout part I cannot do at least 5 rounds. I need to get back into it. I think my fitness level are dropped so low that I cannot get back to the 10 round immediately, because otherwise my performance on the squat, bench, and deadlift are going to suffer drastically. So I don't want that either. I want to rebuild. Basically, what I want is kind of over the next 4 months, before we start getting into that mesocycle. Here, I want to rebuild my working capability. I want to build an insane amount of endurance and stamina. At the same time, I'm building the strength. Because here, honestly, even though I feel tired, I feel that my body is relatively adapting well. And so this week, I could push for 170 on the squat. I could push for maybe not 130 on the bench, because bench tend to progress a little slower, but maybe 125. And maybe go for 200 on the deadlift. What I mean by that is the goal of by the end of those 4 months can come very quickly. And so the way I did it here, the goal is kind of to reach those goals at the first week of each mesocycle. So here, almost done. Next, 170, 130, 200, trying to do it on the first week. So then it's just consolidation. Then 180, 140, 220, same. First week, so then it's only consolidation. And consolidation also means that I will not ask myself to push really hard on the strength part. And so I can use that extra energy to actually build back my endurance and my working capability. So I need to see how that feels this week. See how the fact that I'm not trying to push for 160, 130 and so on. Because as I said last week, I have pretty much the only thing that I haven't hit is my deadlift. Everything else I have hit the numbers that I wanted to hit. So pretty much this week is only going to be consolidation already, trying to do more reps. So it doesn't mean I'm not going to get fatigued, but increasing reps is, at least I feel, less tiring than just increasing reps is less tiring than increasing weight. And so I think this week I'm going to get a little bit less tired from training in the gym, and so I can use that to actually try to really build back the working capability. Anyway, I start rambling. So that's mainly that. Then on the golf side, first of all, last week we managed. So that's something I'm really proud of. We've managed, despite all the up and downs that you saw. I did one session. Let's actually check it in detail. Up. So don't look at this one here, because I'm recording this after having done my first session of the week. So shh, doesn't exist. Okay, doesn't exist. Anyway, so last week, so we got a first session, and which was pretty insane in terms of speed. But the fact is, since I was out of a deload, I was very fresh, very recovered, and so that was easy for me to generate a lot of speed. Then I got extremely tired and really struggled to get above 114, but we still managed to do it anyway, 114.6. So that was absolutely awesome. Anyway, I'm going to get that back, and otherwise I'm going to forget, but we'll talk about that next time. Anyway, so yeah, 114 was the goal for last week. We managed to average 115.3 over the week, so that's awesome. Now, this week is really where things start getting ugly. Not ugly, but I'm going to have to find solution, because here you see that this week the goal is 115, meaning that, as usual, you know, when I have a target, I'm trying during the session to hit 1 mile an hour above the target to make sure the average is above that. So mainly I'm going to try to go for 116 on each and every ball to make sure I'm above 115. And next week is 116, so it means 117. So I'm gonna have to really, first of all, manage my energy and make sure I'm well. So basically, I'm not going to do the things that I've done this week, doing some golf course before going training and so on. No, I stay focused and I try to give my best. Also, in terms of technique, because last week I really felt that there was an issue with my strength at the top, and so that's the main thing that I want to focus on this week, is being to feel strong at the top, feel that I can actually deliver insane amount of power in the downswing by really feeling strong at the top. Because until now, I felt a little bit weak at the top, and so if you feel weak at the top, that's difficult to kind of counteract the momentum of the clock going one way during the transition to then accelerate the other way during the downswing. That's really what I want to focus on. So I'm going to talk about that in more detail in tomorrow's session. You will see, but yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Anyway, as I said, I didn't have much for you today. I just wanted to update you on the journey. So thanks you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for 115 average for the session. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Bye bye.